Here we go with my first question and answer video. Cheryl asks, why am I fat? I've been overweight all my life, went vegan 3.5 years ago, cook all my meals from scratch using lots of fresh fruit, veg and whole grains. Sorry, she didn't say fruit. I have an active job and home life, yet still can't shift the weight. So, and on asking, she said when she's bothered to add up her calories, they seem to be way under 2,000 calories a day. So it seems perhaps calories aren't the problem. I would recommend for a while just really getting on top of that, using the chronometer app and really making a note of everything that you eat and knowing for definite how many calories there are. Oftentimes it's a little higher than we really think because we forget about odd little things, but you know that's not necessarily what the problem is. I also asked her macronutrient ratio. So macronutrient means protein, carbohydrate and fats. And for the type of eating that I promote, high carb, low fat diet, the maximum should be 10% of calories from fat. So again, you can check that on the chronometer app. With this way of eating, it seems that the fat you eat is the fat you wear. Carbohydrate is our species specific preferred fuel source, and if we have an abundance of carbohydrate, you'll notice your body like heating up and you'll actually burn off excess calories by way of dietary thermogenesis. Okay, and this can only happen with carbohydrate. So that's another thing to look at. And also I see, Cheryl, that you say that you're very active with your home life and your job. Something to consider is your hormonal profile. So with really busy people, I would ask, do you use a lot of caffeine or other stimulants to get through the day? High caffeine leads to cortisol production, which can lead to fat gain. So if you are having a lot of stimulants, I'd recommend having a couple of weeks, wean yourself off, go without any stimulants for a while. Other than dietary and hormonal things, I would consider trying to do some resistance training. Ideally 3 times a week. Doesn't have to take long, can be 20 minutes, half an hour time. Get a decent program, try to grow some muscle. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn even at rest. We should be doing some resistance training anyway for as you get older, to keep strength in your body, so you're not one of these people who can't get out of their chair. And for bone density as well, it's important to have some resistance training. Carly says, I constantly struggle with iron deficiency, although I supplement and eat iron-rich foods. It boggles me. So first of all, I would quantify exactly how much iron are you ingesting. Again, I'd use the chronometer app. I would, for a time at least, eat completely whole foods, fruit, veg, nuts, seeds, that sort of thing. These foods will obviously contain, they're all got iron in them, but also they come with a symphony of other nutrients which we need for absorption and utilization. I wouldn't put any rubbish foods in, and I'd look at any other areas of lifestyle which perhaps you can clean up. I know that you personally don't have gluten, which gluten for a lot of people damages the villi and microvilli in the intestine, which interferes with nutrient absorption. So that's a big one, but obviously not something in your case. Obviously vitamin C is important for iron absorption. Again though, just eat real foods. They all the nutrients work together in harmony. I don't like to just pick like nutrients in isolation and say, oh, have this tablet, have that tablet, apart from your B12 and D3. So yeah, just eat real food, eat as much of it as you can, don't eat other sort of junk foods. And you say you supplement, I know you're a vegan, so you're not going to be using a heme iron supplement. Heme iron from animals is linked with cancer. If you eat too much heme iron, it's toxic, and it can kill you in high doses. Whereas plant-based iron, we excrete what we don't use. So again, there's another point showing we are herbivores. I'll almost guarantee it. No, I will guarantee it. So I think that's all I had to say on that one. Jonathan says, what is the best way of putting on extra weight without eating junk? So I would say really calorically dense fruits. So all your tropical fruits, dried fruits are particularly good. Perhaps you can have it in a smoothie form. You could use fruit juice as the base or coconut water. You know, just cram in as many dried fruits and things as you can. I don't recommend high fat, but obviously your nuts, seeds, avocado is calorically very dense. So I would say go near the 10% of your calories from fats, perhaps. And yes, that's that one. David asks, I know you do a lot of mobility work, but if pushed to pick, what are your priorities, or rather the priorities you'd recommend? So personally, I think it goes on kind of necessities and what people are trying to achieve and what are their weaknesses. So for myself, when I'm into my martial arts, at the minute I'm kind of heavily into bodybuilding, so it slipped a little bit. When I'm heavily into my martial arts, I'll do a lot of leg stretching. Personally, I have back issues from an old injury, so particularly important is to stretch the hip flexor. So typically a lot of people sit around all day, which shortens the hip flexor. Then you get the anterior pelvic tilt, okay, and then you get back pain from that. So for most people, I'd say definitely the hip flexors. But again, just whatever you need to do. A lot of people spend like a couple of hours in the gym pre-workout doing all these stretches and mobilizations. You know, you've got limited time, you've got limited energy. I don't like to see a whole load of it. Again, personal preference though. But do what you need to do. The main ones, as I say, anterior pelvic tilt. So doing stuff for that, quads, hip flexors. Prone cobra is nice to stretch out the lower back. And a big problem a regular problem I see is with shoulder extension. So people are trying to overhead press and their arms end up about there. So, you know, stuff to stretch out your shoulders as well. Shoulder dislocations with a broomstick, wall slides, things like that. But whatever you need to do for your own improvement is what I'd recommend. Andrew says, hi Hench, first time caller, long time listener. My question, you do lots of great recipes that can be found on your YouTube channel. This is all very true. But what do you do for a quick nutritional snack that doesn't take too much time to put together? Fruit. If you want something a bit higher in protein, like a bean salad would be nice. It's quite quick and easy. What would you say, Gemma? Hummus with crudité. Porridge, you could put a few berries in, something like that.
We just eat a lot of fruit, don't we?
Yeah, we eat a lot of fruit. Obviously, if you're on the go, you could buy a smoothie or fruit juice. But that's the nutritious stuff. Maybe a gluten-free sandwich. Nikki says, hello boss, my question is, oh dear, I can't think of one. I know, why is it that eating plant-based, clean green diet makes you feel blooming great? It's because we're anthropoid primates, and that's what we're meant to eat. Easy. She also goes on to say, why does training and eating a clean diet boost your libido? Nikki, you're one of my clients, and I don't need to hear these sort of questions. Moving on. Kate asks, since the beginning, you've grown your channel and surrounded yourself by positive people and now train as a vegan. Do you still encounter any negativity from people in the gym now you've changed your mindset? What about new people you meet? Do people ever make any awful, sarcastic comments? And if so, how do you handle it? So, yeah, initially, you hear a lot of negative stuff. People just in their ignorance, and I don't mean that in a bad way, think that you can't build muscle as a vegan. And so, yeah, there was a lot of sort of hostility. And also, when I say that our physiology is completely herbivorous or actually frugivorous. You know, people don't like it, and it's because you're attacking their core beliefs, like their kind of ego, like how they feel about themselves and their place in the world. And the chemicals released in the brain is actually the same as released as if you're physically attacking them. So you've got to kind of expect occasionally you're going to get a really aggressive kind of a backlash, and just knowing that makes it a lot easier to deal with. You kind of understand and you accept it and appreciate it. And so now I just lead by example. It's hard to argue with results. You know, you can see I'm building muscle. Now that we've got Mr. Universe Barney Duplessis training at the gym, and he's also vegan and he's also doing, you know, better than ever. As I say, the results speak for themselves, so people can't kind of keep arguing. But yeah, since kind of my spiritual awakening, I no longer want to argue. I don't feel the need to be right, if you see what I mean. I rather than being right, I just want peace. So I know what's right in my mind. I lead by example. When people are ready to hear the information I've got, you know, I'm trying to spread this message. It's a message of love. It's coming, you know, from my heart. It's just, it saves people, you know, it's disease preventative reversing. It's saving the animals, and it's saving the world, you know. So getting back to the ego thing, I'm showing that we're not meant to eat animal, that we don't need to eat animal to become, you know, aesthetically the best version of ourselves. People in general, I think, are kind. They don't like to see suffering. So on the one hand, they love animals. On the other hand, they're eating animals. They're causing suffering, which I'm saying is unnecessary. So in their mind, it feels like I'm attacking them. And it's creating this cognitive dissonance where they're kind of believing two things at once, that they're kind, but actually they're being unkind. And so, you know, they're going to react sometimes in a bad way. And, you know, I accept that. And I just put the information out there, and you can't force people to change. You've got to just show them, and in their own time, they'll find their own way, you know, the way that I have. Jordan asks, is it true eggs, beans and tuna is how you get hench? Eggs? Hell no. Beans? Yep, they can be a good benefit. And tuna? Hell no. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Look at them gains.
I'm being you.